All right, so normally I don't like to um, talk about these types of things, but this is like the reality of the current news, and I try to stay away from this stuff. But sometimes, like looking at news, it can give you some topics to speak about. But somebody forwarded me a video that happened recently. I don't really check the shared videos often, but I checked it today and I clicked on something, and the guy shared me with a video that happened in it was posted on October 28th, just last month. And this dude freaking like he killed a woman and 4 of her kids because he was jealous. And it was like a family. Like it was like the husband's cousin that did it.
Wow.
Like and they took him into their household to help him out. They let him live there to help him out, and then he goes ahead, and because he's jealous, he said the reason was because they have too much. And then he just he stabbed the wife and all the kids to death, and he like decapitated like 2 of the kids.
Wow.
And the father was at work. And I don't want to bring the race up. I mean, I don't want to, but I'm just gonna bring up the race. And the thing is, it's almost like I don't even want to promote, or I don't even want to like mention this information, because it just makes it makes the people of that race look very bad. But the dude was Chinese, you know, and he was an immigrant from China. And it's just like, you know, it's just like somebody that does something stupid like that, it just destroys the reputation of an entire race, you know. And I know like that's how a lot of blacks could feel, like seeing all these like people in jail and stuff. It just makes the whole race look bad. And you know, like anytime, I don't like to think in racial terms, but because so many people think of things in racial terms, like that's how they will like judge people. And you know, like when you hear a story like this, it could just make your perceptions on whatever race, like it could just make it like something very negative, you know.
Yeah.
But it's not even about race. It's just as people, like how could this happen, you know? Or, but it's not like this is like anything like completely like surprising, because I mean we've seen all these crazy stuff happening, you know. I mean with all these killings and stuff, and with that guy shooting up the kids at the school, you know.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, but the thing that caught my attention with this one, like the guy didn't commit suicide, because most of the time when people do something stupid like that, they commit suicide, and you wonder why the hell did they do it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But this time the guy didn't commit suicide, he's still living, and then he specifically states because of jealousy. And then that right there is like a huge like opportunity to learn about like the human mind and how it can be driven to do such horrible things based on this type of emotion.
Right.
And I think that this definitely has to be given some attention, as far as like trying to fix that problem within the population and what we promote. I mean, like it's like expected, and almost is something that you would expect if you're like flaunting your nice car in a ghetto, and you got like a $100,000 car in the ghetto. It's almost expected for you to get hijacked.
Right.
You know, because you're like basically encouraging other people to be jealous of you. But in this situation, it's not even a material, it's like relationship, it's like love, it's like family. And that guy, it brought so much pain into this guy that he wanted to take that away, and he did. You know, and it's like, that brings things into like a lot of perspective as far as like the way that you may communicate with people in general, and like how you kind of like give off energy. Because if you give off this ego energy that, hey, you know, I'm better than you because I'm married and you're not, or I'm better than you because I got kids and you're not, or I'm better than you because I got this, I mean, it's common, I'm better than you because I got a car and you don't, or I got this nice car and you don't have this nice car, or I got this big home but you don't have this big home. But this one is specifically dealing with relationships, and that is like shocking to me, to have it be taken to that extent. Because I would personally communicate with people that would admit to me about the relationships, of how they feel so much like anger and like hatred when they see like people that are happily together, and then they, knowing that they don't have somebody, like they have this like this inner envy and jealousy, and it makes them feel like shit, you know. But I would never really imagine like somebody to take to the extent of where this guy did, where he just be like, you know, I'm just gonna kill you all. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, wow. And then that just makes you like, it's almost like, you know, it almost makes you like want to hide, if you have love, to almost hide it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't hide it and you flaunt it, it can lead to something like this. And this is family, considered so-called family. This is not like some bum off the street. I mean, this is your cousin here.
Right.
Imagine that your cousin comes up and just kills your whole family, and the reason is because he's jealous. I mean, isn't that some crazy ass shit? You know what I'm saying? And that's why I want to bring it up, because I was like, I think this is something that could definitely be a learning tool for a lot of different people out there, as far as like how the type of energy that they give off to the people around them and to the world in general, as far as like pushing their ego onto other people to make themselves feel less about themselves because they don't have what you may have.
Right.
You know, it's just like if you have a car, you're like, hey, you know, haha, I got this car, you don't. Then they'll try to take that car from you. That's common. Or say you walking around with all this cash. Hey, you know, I got this. Or say you got this like $50,000 wedding ring, like a female. Hey, look at my ring. Look at my ring. Then the guy they could just take it. Like, you don't got no more, right? And then like the athlete, hey, look at my 6-cut abs and all that stuff. You can't take this stuff from me. And they'll be like, you know what? I'm so jealous. I'm just gonna kill you. Now what? You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what's going on. It's like, hey, you know, oh, you know, I got this beautiful wife or this beautiful girlfriend. Ha ha, you ain't got nobody. And he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna kill her. You know? You know what I'm telling you, man? It's some crazy shit, man. It's almost like, dude, man, don't flaunt the shit that you got. Like, don't flaunt the wedding ring. Don't flaunt the car. Don't flaunt the wife. Don't flaunt the kids. Just basically pretend as if you're miserable, because then they'll leave you alone. That's pretty much what it's almost like. That's pretty much what this is almost teaching. Like, if you pretend like you're miserable, then they'll feel better. But if you like, oh, I'm so happy, and you're sad, but I'm happy, they're like, you know what? I'm gonna take that happiness away by killing you. You know, or killing the people that are making you happy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm telling you, man, this is like a very extreme example of something that just fucking is just crazy, that the human being could actually be taken to such depression and sadness to do something like this. But this is not nothing. It's not that it's nothing, but the guy that did the Virginia Tech, I mean, I actually saw a documentary about this stuff, and it becomes relevant because this guy, it could almost be the same thing, where it's like you're so depressed about your own life that you just want to put this misery onto everybody else around you. You know? And I think a lot of these killings that's going on is due to just like depression and just like feeling a lot of like low self-esteem about yourself. And then people are just making it worse by putting on, like egging it, making it worse by just kind of flaunting everything that they have and how happy they are. And they're just making them feel even less about themselves to kind of end up encouraging them to do something crazy like this. You know, this happened in the Bronx, in New York. You know, so, but yeah, I mean.
Yeah. Well, when, you know, like with the at the shootings and all that stuff, to me, I see like the guys that go on these shooting sprees. I look at it as it's a suicide pattern, you know, and it's something with America, because it doesn't happen everywhere, you know. Even just up here in Canada, it's very rare to have somebody go on a shooting spree, but in the U.S. it happens pretty often, and it seems like they're almost always you know, hell bent on throwing their life away. Like it's actually it's just a suicide pattern. Like up here in Canada, when somebody's going to commit suicide, they usually hang themselves. But it seems like down in the States, more and more, if somebody's going to commit suicide, they get to take as many with them as possible. And, you know, like even growing up in Oregon, like when I was younger, growing up in Oregon, I knew a guy. Well, I didn't actually know him directly, but he was the son of one of my teachers in grade school that got shot in one of those shooting sprees right in our town. And then later on, once I was married, my daughter was friends with this girl, and this girl's older brother took him around all the time and stuff. And he seemed like a real normal kid, but he ended up going on a shooting spree, you know. And so it's common enough that I have known people, and I've only lived half of my life in the U.S. It's common enough that I know people that were affected by or actually committed shooting sprees, you know. That's how common it is. So but I think this case, like the jealousy thing, it might have some of the same aspects, but it seems to me like it's something a little different, eh? Like he wasn't suicide bent, but at the same time he was kind of giving up on life, because he's got to know he's going to go to jail, he's going to go to prison and that for a while, you know, and plus, you know, killing your brother and stuff. Like there might have been a real long history with him and his brother, where this had been building up for a long time, this kind of jealousy. Like jealousy is a really, really powerful emotion, and we do a lot of stupid stuff over jealousy. You know, it doesn't have to, like, the killing somebody is a really extreme example. Like, I can't imagine going that far that you're going to kill people and like, decapitate kids and stuff. That's crazy. that's crazy. And I couldn't even imagine. And to me, like, you know, in terms of the race thing, like I wouldn't even guess Chinese. I would have guessed it as like a white guy, because, you know, white guys are like the serial killers. They're the kind of people that are going to be decapitated and stuff. but you know, I think that's a really extreme example, but all the same, it might, you know, bring light on how powerful an emotion jealousy is, because it really, like, all the time, people are destroying relationships and big aspects of their life over stupid little petty jealousies.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I saw this other documentary on the love industry in Japan, and one of the girls in the documentary, she said that when she sees like happy couples, she gets angry and pissed off, and she says that she wishes they would die.
Wow.
And I was like, damn. I mean, this is like going hand in hand with what happened with this dude. And it's like, and I've heard it personally from some people that I used to be friends with. They would literally see some people holding hands, and then they get like really pissed and angry.
Huh.
And it's like, it's almost like showing affection and love could be seen as almost a dangerous thing where it can lead people towards violence.
Right.
You know? Like, I think, yeah, somebody else mentioned to me that some of his friends told him that he's lucky because his father was around.
Oh, yeah.
And they're jealous that they didn't have that.
Right.
You know, and it's just like just having like a family or love or whatever, it could drive people towards like severe depression in a way. And you don't even know. I mean, you could just be like at the park with your wife holding her hand, and then somebody sees you, and then he just starts crying, and you don't even know.
Right.
So it's just like, man, it's just crazy, man. I mean, it's just common about the material thing, you know, because there's a lot of people out there that are poor and they want money. Like, people are robbing banks and stuff like that. People are, like, stealing money. I mean, that's so common. It's just, it's predictable. But this right here, where the jealousy is because of a relationship and family, and then he killed over it, that was just like, it was just like a whole nother thing to me. It was like a very big, like, I mean, I already knew what was going on, but I didn't know that there's people out there that'll take it to that extent like that.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's just crazy, man. You know, and yeah. I mean, it was just like, I don't know. I think to me, I take it as a learning tool to kind of like, in a way, like, I don't know, sometimes it's best, not sometimes, but there's benefits to just kind of like, to just kind of live like a more humble lifestyle, and just like, and not like really being really more aware and conscious of how you express the energies you have in this world, or like express the energies you have to this world, or to the people that you communicate with. You know, and just be more aware of like, be very aware of like who you trust and things like that, even when it comes to like so-called family and stuff. Like, you just have to be, and when you sense jealousy, man, maybe it's best to kind of like, to get away from that, you know, like, in a strategic way, you know, because it's a very dangerous emotion.
Yeah, it is. You know, one thing I noticed is like a lot of rich people, they don't like to or they'll get offended if they think that you think about them as rich. Okay? Like not too long, my wife and I were invited to go to this ranch, and this guy had some stuff he wanted us to research at his ranch. So we went up there, and it's kind of like a ranch resort, you know. And it was really nice, and the guy's obviously got, you know, a ton of money. And then he was telling us about, you know, all of his like experiences building the ranch and stuff, and you know, I realized that he also has a lot of like political allies. And then at one point, you know, I said something about it, you know, that I'm glad we're getting involved with him, because you know, and he's got so much, you know, he's wealthy, and if he likes the stuff we're doing, doing that's good for like he almost wanted to just back away from us right there because he, you know, to him is like, you shouldn't even mention it, you know. Shouldn't even, don't even go there, you know. He tried to tell me he's not rich, and I'm like, man, I couldn't even imagine having a place like this, you know.
Yeah.
You're, you know, you don't want to admit it or whatever, but you're rich.
Yeah.
But you know, it's because they know, hey, they know what jealousy can do bad things. So even though they've worked really hard, they don't want to be out with it, you know, and have it be part of what they're known for, you know, because it's too dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, you know, the material is a given, but this whole affection, love, family thing is an eye opener. You know what I mean? Imagine if like somebody just said, "Hey, you know, I'm sick of being fat. I'm gonna kill everybody that has a six-pack." Goes around just killing everybody, and then everybody that has six-pack, oh shit, let me put on this sweater because I don't want to die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what's going on. You know, it's like, you know, some guy goes out there, everybody that's married, I'm gonna kill everybody that's married because I hate married people. And then everybody's like, no, shit, I'm not married, man. I haven't been married for like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, shit, man. It's like I said, man, it's almost like you gotta be careful, like who you bring close to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
no,
that jealousy, man, like, it's some crazy stuff, man. Alright, but I'm gonna stop that there.
Yeah.